In the 75th, can you brothers maybe step up here so everyone can see? This had gone viral, you know. I was happy to see so many of the students from the reading of the Quran and looking at what is written here regarding the significance and sign of a solar eclipse. In the 75th chapter of the Quran, it's entitled The Resurrection. And in verse 7, it says, when the sight is confused and the moon becomes dark and the sun and the moon are brought together, man will say on that day whether to flee. No, there is no refuge. With thy Lord on that day is the place of rest. And man will that day be informed of what he sent before and what he put off. Man is evidence against himself, though he put up excuses. In the footnote, Maulana Muhammad Ali, who is one of the great contributors to the spreading of Islam in the English-speaking world, he translated this Quran from Arabic into English. So he gives footnotes or commentary to help the reader to better comprehend and understand what is being said. And he said that the bringing together of the sun and the moon implies the disappearance of the light of both. It may be a partial disappearance, as in the case of an eclipse, and in that case the reference may be to what is stated in a report relating to the appearance of the Mahdi, in whose time the sun and the moon will both be eclipsed in the month of Ramadan. The name of the Messiah and Mahdi being associated with the final triumph of Islam in the world, and we are thus told that Islam will not only triumph in Arabia, but in the whole of the world at the latter period in its history. If the total disappearance of the light of both the sun and the moon is meant, the reference would be to the final disruption of the solar system and the manifestation of the greater resurrection. Now let me bring some of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's teaching to this. The disruption of the solar system has nothing to do with the physical solar system. The presence of Mahdi and Messiah disturbs the system of Satan, who represents himself as a light. Lucifer, see, he appears as an angel of light. But when Mahdi and Messiah are present, their presence disrupts the system of Satan. But it also refers to the time that the the Messiah who's among the people is brought back to his teacher, who is the Mahdi. That is the day where man will say whether to flee. and there is no refuge. Who's the man? Who is Messiah? Who is Mahdi? Did the minister, what was the title of his lecture? What does the great Mahdi and the great Messiah have to say about the war in the Middle East? He represents the great Mahdi and the great Messiah, but he's a Messiah among us. So this eclipse tomorrow, which will cross the United States, we're not going to get the total darkness in Chicago. We may get just a little bit of it. I think they said maybe 80%. But 80, when you got 20% light from the sun, trust me, it's like, it's just a little cloud covering. But when the minister is no longer with us, I'm not talking about death. See, him being brought to his teacher, his father, see, it's going to cause the sight to become confused. Damn. The sight already of men is confused. But in the absence of God's messenger Messiah among the people, he is light to the world. And in his absence, the confusion that you see now, oh my God, it's gonna really manifest. America's going to war. They're going to war. No ifs and buts about it. So when he is taken to the Father, who is Mahdi, it's the sun and the moon coming together, because the prophets represent moonlight. In the absence of God, or the absence of the sun, you have the light of the moon in darkness. And as long as a prophet and messenger is among the people, you have some light. Woo. But when you don't have the light of the sun or the moon, woo, you gotta rely on the light that has been lit in yourself. And that's why Jesus gives the parable of the 5 foolish women and the 5 wise women. See? The wise ones kept the oil, but the foolish ones that didn't heed, when the time came, they wanted to borrow oil and say, hey, no, ain't gonna be enough. That can also be taken as faith, but it also, as the minister said, with the earthquake in New York, 4.8, to remind us of what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad warned us of, the calamities that are going to strike, and what we should do in storing food in our homes. I know we're taught as Muslims that if I have a bowl of bean soup, half is for my brother. But heck, I got 5 in my household. And if you didn't do what you were supposed to do to store food, don't be knocking at my door. No, this is real. I give it to you, and then you bring your ducklings and everybody behind, quack, quack, quack. No, I ain't got enough. Man, that ain't right, brother minister. No. You and I have this grace period. And we keep on taking chances. I got to restock up because everything that my wife and I got for during the pandemic, stupid me, right? I said, baby, I thought if you have a lot of this stuff that's bottled and canned, it will last for years. I said, oh no, it's been 4 years, sweetheart. I said, damn, we got to do all this all over again. You all say, yeah. See, I'm not an MGT. Y'all got to rotate it, Sister Taliban. Man, I'm thinking once that is sealed, got to rotate it. So I got to use a little bit and rotate it. Well, I'm going to rotate it. And I'm going to make sure that I have what the Messiah has asked me and us to have in our homes, because we are in the time of judgment. So that eclipse, it's a great sign. And you know, the minister has been saying for a long time now, he has a rendezvous with destiny. And he has not said anything otherwise, and he has already told us that he's going to that wheel. And you know that it's real. It's real. It's a city in the sky. You can read about it in the book of Revelations in the 21st chapter. I think it's 21st. So anyway, I wouldn't advise rushing down to Indianapolis or down to Carbondale, but if you do, it would be one heck of an experience. I'm telling you, total darkness in the middle of the day. Have you ever experienced it? Oh no, it's something else. But if you travel, expect a lot of traffic, because people are going to want to go and experience it like maybe some of us. But if you do choose to travel by the roads, travel safely.